All the snow had melted. There wasn't a speck of it out there. Then I had to load up that video. I jinxed myself. Bummer. That little guy back there is not too sure what to make of all this either. All his landmarks are covered up. Alright y'all, we're going to make a film today on one of my favorite weapons. My nemesis. The Ruger 2245. This happens to be 2245 Light. They are a pain in the ass. Especially for a Type A personality. But I'm not afraid of them anymore. I understand what every part on this thing does and how it reacts. Still frustrating at times, but particularly for a Type A personality, but they have a tendency, not all of them, but they have a tendency to cut you here, or to scratch you. That standard 2245, the steel one. It has cut me good several times, and I got tired of it and decided that I would look into a solution. Now on the Hunter, I took it and I filed it a little bit here and here. I took a Dremel tool and kind of rounded that off. And then I took 400 sandpaper. You take a file or something. I didn't want to do it on a blued weapon because then I'd have to put something on it that would wear off. And I decided, of course you're supposed to put the magazine in, which I don't have to do because I've taken the disconnect out. Pull the trigger. I found a solution, and I'm just going to try it out and see how I like it. This is a Volquartsen Bolt. This little stirrup right here on all these bolts, they're cause for a little bit of grief, but we're going to install this and see how it works out. And I thought I'd take you along for the aggravating trip, because these things will aggravate you even when you know what's going on. But normally you would put your magazine in, charge a weapon, take the magazine out, pull the trigger, and so on. This weapon's not loaded, and we're going to take out the mainspring housing. Now on this weapon, it comes out readily, and Ruger themselves on their film will tell you if it doesn't want to come out, put a little wooden dowel there or a punch and take a hammer and tap it down. This one here, that was the reason why I'm using it to make this film. It comes out readily. And the reason why it doesn't want to come out is because that stirrup, this fits up in here, but that stirrup actually locks into that thing. It locks into that notch right there, and it's a source of aggravation on taking it out on some weapons and putting it in. And I'll show you that in a minute. I'm sure I'm gonna have to wrestle with this thing. Now you see, that should just come out easily, and it's not going to. It wants to aggravate me. It all has to do with whether the hammer is flipping up in there. So we're going to take this one out. Now this one weighs 4.80 ounces. The Volquartsen, it comes with everything. It comes with the extractor, the recoil spring, firing pin, and it weighs 5.10 ounces. Now you want it, when you go to put it in there, you want to make sure your hammer's down. There it is. It is now in there. Now for the aggravating part. And that's putting this mainspring housing back in. Of course, you got your hammer strut laying in there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Yeah, right in there. See that hammer strut? It's got to be dangling. And we're just going to take this. It's not going to go all the way through like some of these guys on their videos. It shows it just pops in there. Well, this gun hasn't been fired enough to do that. And see, I can sit here and wrestle with it and eventually get it in there. And probably will have to wrestle with it. But what I'm going to do is take this wooden chopstick and take the tension off that strut. There. That's got to be sticking up all the way. And that when that's sticking up all the way, this mainspring housing will hang just like that. And then in order to finish it, all you do, point it up, pull the trigger, and latch your mainspring housing back in. Now that mainspring housing should be underneath a little bit of tension, and you snap it back in there. If it's not under a little tension and it's not springy, then you have to fiddle with it some more until it is. But let's, oh, I like that. You really don't have to get your hands up there. There's not enough room for them to be pinched unless you got some real fat fingers. Now it does take away from the classic lines, but I'd rather have a pistol that doesn't quite have the classic lines and keep all my blood intact. But there it is. And a little advice, I'll make a video one day with all the little quirks of one of these things. But you just have to stop, take a deep breath, and try to understand what's going on, what each part, how it functions, and you won't have to get on the floor and wrestle with these things and beat on them like with a hammer like I have done. As most of you know that follow this channel, I have beat the ever-living hell out of that hunter. But now, these things don't bother me. I know what's causing the problem, and I fiddle with it till it corrects itself. They're just a fine-tuned piece of machinery, and the parts got to be there and fit right, or it ain't gonna go together. And it's got its little quirks. And once you take the time to learn it and find out what it is, what's causing the problem, it is no longer a problem. And I think that's going to work fine. And I may put one in that standard. But that is a Volquartsen Competition Bolt. It's a nice bolt. Comes with everything you need. All you got to do is stick it in there like I just did. And hopefully you won't have many problems when you do so. But that is a Volquartsen Competition Bolt, and I installed it, and you saw me do it, and I didn't have to stop the damn video. Miracle. Appreciate you watching. Catch you later. Bye.